welcome back to the TNC podcast. We are up, we are promoted, and what better way to celebrate than to get a West Ham fan on.
Yeah, what's that about?
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good
to
mate.
see you.
Good.
You well?
Good to see you, boss.
Yeah,
Thanks
no,
for
I'm glad to be in the hot seat.
Yeah, I mean, it is remarkably hot in here today. The sun is shining.
Definitely couldn't open the windows in the studio today.
No.
Don't look out the window and look at my parking though.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I think parking is abysmal.
I know.
Hashtag Dick Parker.
Like we just said though on your Insta, I just wanted to be on your story. The Dick Parker movement.
How many times did you fail your test?
This was strictly off camera. Seven times, yeah.
Did you keep going back and then like, fuck's sake, not you again?
they recognised me.
You probably
actually
kept the DVLA in business.
I reckon I did, mate. I done it 4 times in a manual and thought, driving's not for me, I'm going to try a go-kart, went auto, and then still failed another 3 times.
Oh, crikey.
So that was
a good effort. So for the people watching, I think we've got a 2% female demographic. They're probably currently going weak at the knees at the prospect of you in the hot seat.
Okay.
The other people will probably know who you are.
Yeah.
Talk to me about who you are and why you're on here.
Well, I don't know why I'm on it. Good luck. But no, I'm a YouTuber. I'm from Norwich, so I guess that's the connection.
Yeah.
I've been doing YouTube about 10 years, and I have kind of inadvertently sort of fallen into the niche of moaning about other YouTubers, and that's kind of like, basically I was just sort of like doing comedy videos for a long time.
Yeah.
Then I slagged off a certain advent calendar. That done really well. So I've kind of like, I'm still riding that wave.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a remarkable year for you, hasn't it, really? 2 years almost.
Yeah.
1 million,
1 million
plus
subs.
subscribers.
Congrats.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Hundreds of million views. That's crazy.
That's mental, isn't it? That's too many for what I do. That is too many.
Is it?
But I'll take it.
Is there pressure?
It's kind of like that age-old question of like integrity versus sort of like popularity, because sometimes you don't want to wake up in the morning and go, oh, what about that Alfie Deyes, eh? Do you know what I mean? It wears thin. But you have to kind of keep people happy as well. So I always say I always stay true to what I believe on the channel. Yeah. But it's hard when it's not. Like my passion, believe it or not. My passion is not actually slagging off YouTubers. Yeah. Like, that's not what I wanted to be when I was 10. But I'm here, and
I think the link is that Jack is a West Ham fan, and West Ham are in the Premier League.
There you go.
Which is where Norwich City will be next season.
That's it. How rude of me. I need to congratulate you boys, by the way, for going up. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you did very little for the cause. It was them on the pitch, really.
I'm not sure.
I'm
not sure, Jack. That's hard.
We were a cog in the culture turner, have you know?
A cog in the culture turn. That's a very nice way of putting it.
Thank you. Are you looking forward to losing both matches to us next season?
I knew that was going to come up.
Well, I thought I'd get in early.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen. I reckon it'll be...
Very impressed with your win at Tottenham.
Yeah, I was buzzing.
More impressed with Antonio Cello.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a history of doing decent celebrations.
What was it? I've seen it, but what was he trying to do?
It was... go on then, Jack.
Kind of a bit raunchy, wasn't it?
Was it raunchy?
Yeah.
I would say he was trying... I think it was a bit of a B-Tech Farker on a horse. Let's put it
Was he
like
trying to ride a horse, or was he trying to ride something else?
He was trying to Farker a horse. That's what he was trying to do.
Amazing. Back to you, Jack. It's interesting being from Norwich, isn't it? Because we're out on a limb. It's not like being in London. I think if you were living in London, it might be slightly different. But looking from the outside in, wherever you go in Norwich, you're recognised, you're spotted. I mean, we've seen you in Nights Out in Waterfront, and you are constantly bombarded for photos.
Yeah.
How do you find all of that? Because I know you're very humble, but you are a celebrity in Norwich.
Right. Yeah. No, it's weird because that's why I always tend to go to the same places all the time, because I kind of know the crowd.
You love Waterfront, don't you?
I get that a lot, and I understand why I get that a lot, because I do kind of haunt that place a fair bit. But weirdly, not really. Like it's more so.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's more so that I know the crowd. So when I go in there, as you said, like people recognise me, or they've seen me from. That's probably it. They probably haven't even seen the YouTube channel. They've just seen me in there every weekend for the past 4 years.
Yeah. That's how you build up your subs. That's the secret.
Yeah, that's it. But because I always worry that if I was to venture somewhere else, Mantra, anywhere like that. I've done this. I've had this happen in other towns when I've gone out. people recognise me. I can tell they recognise me. They're looking at me. They're saying things, and that fills me with a little bit of anxiety because I'm kind of thinking, are they going to come over and think I'm a prick? Are they going to hit me? Like, what are they going to do? Like, I don't know. Whereas I go in the waterfront, I've 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had negative opinions thrown at me in there, but no one's ever come over and hit me yet, and that's not an invitation to do it. But because it's always been sort of plain sailing the whole time I've been in there, I kind of feel a bit more comfortable. Do you know what I mean?
Norwich fans were out on the round. Norwich fans fans definitely were. The Norwich players were out on the Randan, Prince of Wales Road, after the game at the weekend, weren't they? Marco Stiegman in the kebabi.
Really?
Yeah.
On his own.
Yeah. In that kebabi, by the way.
Yeah.
I won't name it and shame it, but everyone knows which kebabi it is. That is just always where the fights are. Me and my pals make an effort to actually just kind of stand opposite side the road to that and just kind of admire it for a good 10-15, knowing that you're going to get a brawl in there. So fair play
I've seen some stuff
Marco
in there.
Stiegman.
What's your topping on it? I assume you're a doner kebab man.
I'm not.
Or is that a horrible assumption to make?
Yeah, it's wrong.
Okay. I take back my comment.
I'm a pizza man.
I wasn't expecting that.
Was you not?
No, I wasn't.
I picked pizza over kebab already.
Yeah,
I'm so pleased you've said that.
Not a kebab kind of guy.
But the difference is, that's what the Yarmouth boys are like.
Dirty, greasy, horrible. All right, then, so a pizza topping. You're going in there after a night in Waterfront.
Yeah.
What are you going for?
I'm going full meat. Meat feast.
Right.
Always. I don't think I've actually had a doner kebab for maybe 5-6 years now.
What stopped you?
The big questions here.
We're going to get so much abuse when we're talking about football.
Yeah, I know. These are all tuned in because you're going to the Premier League. They want to get a buzz
We'll get to that.
No, I just went chicken wrap, bit of garlic mayo or a pizza.
Yeah,
done.
nice.
Good, lovely.
Good.
What's yours?
I'm doner, garlic mayo, all the salad.
Garlic mayo's class.
No chili sauce.
Nah.
Greasy pepperoni sorts me out every time. But the tip is, have the pizza, not the dough, have the pizza in Piccolo's. Top boy Bobby serves you in there. Quote TNC for discount. Oh God. That always sorts me out a treat on a hangover.
Good, is it?
Drink responsibly.
In terms of Norwich City, Jack, you used to hate us.
The club, or the actual place.
We'll start with the club.
Yeah, both.
Then we'll get on to the place.
When I was younger, I was quite against Norwich for some reason. I don't know what. I don't know if I was just trying to be edgy or something.
Yeah,
but I've
probably,
mate. Yeah, but I've kind of gone 180 on it now. I used to always think, oh yeah, I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna go to London, and then I went to London quite a lot, and I realised it's not the best place.
Yeah.
And then I actually quite like getting home, and then I've kind of grown. It was actually my cousin Frank, does music. He kind of, I always say this when we've had a few jars on a night out, but he kind of, I used to, because they're Thetford boys, got a bit of a London accent, a bit trendy, and I used to think I was this country bumpkin. I guess you could say I was young, naive, a little bit ashamed of where I was from. He sat me down and he's told me about how brilliant Norwich is and stuff like that. And I have come 180. I feel like I can say that now. I've realised what a fine city it is, and the same with the football club as well.
Yeah. So
keep talking. I'm going to pull up a tweet. I need to call you out on a tweet.
Oh no, please! I didn't know it was one of these. I thought I'd do the grilling on my podcast.
First of all, I think the fact that you've just said Thetford and a slight London accent, that shouldn't be a thing, should it?
No.
Thetford's not close enough to London.
No, I don't know why they have it. I have this discussion with them a lot, but they claim that they're a London overspill town. So
right, and you have roots to London, right?
Well, my dad is from that way. That's why I support West Ham.
I see. So how did that come about then? How are you a West Ham fan?
Just because of that. Because when I was a few months old, he's put a West Ham beanie hat on me. Yeah. Boom, and then just grew up just as many people do. They follow their dad's footsteps, really. So that's it. But I mean, yeah, getting back to the whole anti-Norwich thing, I don't really know what that boiled down to.
Right.
Really, it just literally probably me being a 18-year-old trying to be trendy, trying to be edgy. I don't like Norwich. I'm going to Thetford. And now I'm older. I've sort of mellowed out a lot now, and I would never move away. I don't think.
What was the tweet about Ipswich that you had recently, where you had a bit of an Ipswich loving, dare I say?
I think it was the opposite, wasn't
it? No.
This?
There was something where you were kissing the Ipswich backsides.
Was I?
Yeah, you were. Where is it? It was something about their fans being class or something like that. sticking with them through Relly, and I was like, unfollow.
Look how thin your eyes have gone. You're like, no. When was this?
I've found one. It's not the one, but you've just kind of put.
Oh, here we go. It's like Piers Morgan.
Who really cares how your team performs? ? They are your team through the good and the bad. I feel for Ipswich fans, but fucking respect them for still going to games. I wouldn't be going.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Huge respect. That isn't the tweet, but that was quite nice actually, to be fair. But there was one where you were.
Well, Ipswich have been so woeful this season.
That's one way of putting it.
Like, only because I don't think you can swear on it, can you?
You can if you want.
They've been shit, right? That's so bad. And if I was an Ipswich fan, I wouldn't go to the games because
they don't go to the games, Jack. They have 14,000 people turn up tops.
That's 14,000 more than me.
Is that the Colchester's capacity? 14k, or is it 10k?
I'm not sure.
Goodness gracious!
I'm not sure.
I get Ipswich fans in my DMs all the time saying that you two are nonsense.
What is that? Why do people do that? It's like the new kind of.
It's like the trendy word, isn't it? Nonce. Yeah. Unless you are actually paedophiles, then I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious!
In terms of the Norwich City hate, was that when we were in the Premier League?
Hang on. Hang on. Yeah. I just got to go back.
Yeah.
Why do you get DMs? Because they wouldn't know that we know each other.
I think it's just whenever we've had some kind of interaction, like if one of you's commented on my Insta or vice versa, and stuff like that. Yeah. I've tweeted you before and stuff, so they'll just message me. They go, he's a nonce. It's like, okay. Anyway. But then I'll go on their profile, see that they're an Ipswich fan, and go, it all makes sense.
It's kind of like really lazy. It's not even shanter.
No.
It's just terrible, isn't it?
I sometimes DM Ipswich fans and say that Jaackmate's a fucking the other way around. So someone tweeted us earlier and said, I think it was your good friend who said, what's the loving with Norwich? Where's that come from? Because
who's tweeted that?
I can't remember. Oh.
I'll find it. I know.
Well, where's it come from? Okay, so I knew this was going to come up, so I tried to think about this before I came.
You thought about it?
Yeah, I thought about it a little bit.
More prep than we've done.
I just used to think that Norwich. I think it's because I don't actually have a lot of close friends now that are Norwich fans. Okay. Because when I used to think they used to chat a lot of waffle, basically. Very, very fickle. If they win one game, want the manager out. If they win the next one, they want the manager in. Just like any football club, really. But I kind of have to stand by West Ham because I am a West Ham fan. But
why are you a West Ham fan?
Because my dad, isn't it?
Can you see from like growing up in Norwich?
Yeah.
How that is a bit. I don't get it.
Because you support your home city, but then there's a lot of people that don't.
But do you think that makes your dad a glory hunter, or was he actually from London?
He was from London, yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah, but my dad is actually still a glory hunter because he supported QPR until he was 10, and then West Ham won the 1980 FA Cup final, and he switched like that.
Well, this is the thing. When we get to the Premier League, Jack, what we will have is the Yarmouth trains. You'll have to be careful because for the Manchester United fixture, they'll all be coming in from Yarmouth. That's where because the classic is, my dad supports Man United. Oh, right, is he from Manchester? No, we've lived in Yarmouth for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
What?
The thing is, though, we only have a one-carriage train from Yarmouth to Norwich, so you're not fitting
struggle.
any more people on there, I don't think.
No.
Well, they'll probably get on the roof, won't they?
Possibly. Back to you, Jack.
Yeah.
So, Norwich, you now love us.
I like the football you're playing this season.
Right.
And I'm a fan of that, and I'm a fan of the manager, and I'm a fan of a lot of the squad, really. Whereas before,
TNC podcast.
What's that?
TNC podcast.
Use that for the trailer. But whereas in the past with like your Chris Hutons and stuff like that, like I wasn't. They didn't inspire me.
Didn't inspire anyone.
Yeah. But I kind of just like that. I've really got in. I'm in the middle of all the feel-good factor of Norwich now. Do you know what I mean? And if you want to call me a fraud because I'm new to it, I'll take that all day long, boys. But
I think people from the outside do when you say that there's a real good feeling about the city when Norwich are doing well. It's true.
Yeah,
there is a buzz, isn't there?
Definitely. Yeah. 100%.
Totally, there is. There's a real vibe. People are buying more when we're in the Premier League. If you actually look at the import-export trading deals coming through as well, it's seriously, mate, the amount of money.
Theresa May.
Don't laugh. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. We shouldn't talk about politics. it brings a lot to the city.
Yeah, for sure. But I was getting kind of into Norwich, the team, sort of like last year. I'm a big fan of James Madison.
Yes.
He kind of opened my eyes to some of the football that you boys were playing. So no, I'm fully in. I'm all in.
I think that was a lovely link. We'll get onto the Twitter questions later. Someone asked, it's Joe actually, he said, is Emi Buendia better than James Madison? Now, you probably haven't seen too much of Emi this season.
No, I haven't.
But you obviously saw a lot of James, and you've probably seen him more than we have in the Premier League.
Yeah.
How has he adapted to the Premier League? Because we saw James week in, week out and thought there's a top player here.
Yeah.
But that step up from the Championship to the Premier League is quite significant.
Yeah.
He seems to have taken it like a duck to water.
Yeah, no, he smashed it. Fills me with a little bit of pain to say it as well, because there was a lot of rumours going around that apparently West Ham were in the market for him.
Right.
When he was down here.
They're in the market for everyone, aren't
apparently.
they? West Ham?
Yeah, apparently. But he apparently David Moyes watched him, said he weren't a big fan. So
really?
weren't too impressed with what he saw. So cheers for that, Dave. Hope you're doing well, wherever you are. So yeah, obviously I've seen him go to Leicester. But one of my good friends, Bates, is a massive Norwich fan, season ticket holder, and he was constantly banging on about how good Madison was right from the off. Really, I've kind of just I'm the neutral that just hears about them when he already starts performing well. But I have kept an eye on him now, mainly through my friend. But yeah, he's just smashing it. I think he's in the top 5. What is it? The top 5 most chances created in Europe.
Yeah, certainly English assists made, I think, from an English
That's
club.
crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. And I saw him on Soccer AM the other day, and he just handles himself so well as well. Like, and what was it? You boys will know this way more than I will, but all the clubs he's been at, he seems to have made the right choices for his career. He's had big clubs interested in him before, and he's just made the right steps. He's got a proper good head on him, mate.
It was a huge keep for us because we actually got him under the nose of Tottenham. With a really strong link with him.
But then that could have killed him going to Norwich, going to Tottenham.
Yeah, it could have done. Absolutely, it could have done. I'm in no way, shape or form surprised. The whole thing with James Madison, Jack Wilshere, that I'm not going to bring up. Sasha just brought it up. I think he's outrageously good. I'm surprised he didn't make the England squad. Really surprised. How Hudson-Odoi got in over him, I have no idea. I think Hudson-Odoi is a cracking player. Don't get me wrong, but just because he was at the big club, I think it was Holty that said it. I can't believe it, and I totally agree with him. James Madison will be a regular. He'll definitely be at the next tournament for England. He has to be, unless Gareth Southgate loses his marbles.
It's interesting you raise it there, Jack, about in terms of how James carries himself. You've obviously worked on shoots and probably know a lot of young footballers. How has there been anyone you've been like extremely impressed with over the time? Because we often see footballers who maybe can't string sentences together as well as others, but we can't play football that well.
Yeah.
That's not their job, is it?
Nah.
Has there been any that has really stood out to you over the time in terms of working with?
Yeah, Hector Bellerin.
Right.
Was class.
Was a fashionable fellow.
Yeah. I mean, he was class on camera. His fashion sense, I'm not here to judge.
You've just done that.
Yeah. But no, he was so switched on. I did a shoot with him a couple of Christmases back, and the funny thing about it was, I don't know if he's still his what's it called? Not agent, but the guy that goes around with him all the time. Maybe, I don't know.
Like a PR type.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was just this just this guy from London, like from one of the boroughs in London. He had this big puffer jacket on, and we went over to Hector and was like, Hector, can you see how many keepy-ups you can do with this bauble? It's just a challenge that we had online on social media at the time. And he was injured and he was at the Arsenal team at the time, so he was like, I don't know, I'll have to ask. And I just see him go over, ask his mate, and his mate just went, didn't give a shit. Like, you do what you want when you want.
That.
But Hector Bellerin, because he's been in London a long time now, it's quite funny. He's got this like accent where he's like a Spanish guy, but he's got like a London twang. And my mate said once that it sounds like he's a Londoner that puts on a Spanish accent to try and impress girls at a bar. It's so cool. But he's just very switched on to social media, very switched on to the YouTube world and stuff. So when we were filming, he's very aware the camera's there,
right,
and he'll give you extra little bits of content by coming up to it.
So he's almost producing it himself.
100%, yeah. And now he's got his own YouTube channel, so he's really switched on. But then the flip side of that, I think that's because he is a modern player in the modern era. I did a thing with Gerrard once, and he just was a bit of the opposite, really.
Right.
Like didn't seem bothered. Like,
Is that not being aware of the current kind of scope of media, or is that just being media trained to the point of just gone too far?
Yeah, probably a bit of both, and also kind of he's I don't want to say he's had his career as a player, so he doesn't need to do sort of YouTube stuff anymore, and perhaps it is a little bit sort of beneath him now. Like, I don't know, but it's good when you see the sort of younger players like your Bellerin's and Madisons and stuff who are really switched on to it, because I think during the World Cup as well, that was another reason why we all got behind the team so well, is because they were so savvy on social media. Yeah, that was it, 100%. So your Maguires and your Trippiers and stuff like that.
Players are businesses now. They're not only assets to the football club, they are their own influencer. A club has influencers associated with them that can bring in. I mean, for example, why did Juventus sign Ronaldo? Obviously, he's a ridiculously good footballer, but they made the shirt sales probably straight away.
Yeah.
And the amount of sponsorship deals that come in from that, almost in a way, Hector has gone, I need a marketing man, I need a videographer to paint me in the right way. I think it was, we were laughing and joking on the Rust podcast, whenever that was, ages ago, about how Ivo Pinto's got like a graphic designer. And in the end, I think he actually created... by the way, cracking guy, he definitely is a cracking guy, but even if he wasn't a cracking guy, he painted this picture of, I'm a good guy, I'm fighting, I'm getting behind it, his tweets, he's doing tweets before the game, tweet after. I think that's the way it has to be now, and I think that if you are media trained and you come across as arrogant, which I think some of the old school players can do sometimes, which is a shame, because when we hear from Jake Humphrey like what the bigger kind of ex-players are like behind the scenes and how they are such nice guys, but on camera there's still that kind of they're almost like, do I answer this? Do I not? So I think it's great.
Yeah, because I think they just know if they say one thing, if it comes out how they didn't intend it to, they're going to be thrown under the bus by the press and stuff like that. So that's a thin line to tread.
That was a tangent. We were talking about Buendia and Madison.
We were.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I tell you what, I definitely can understand why the question's been asked. I think that Buendia has the opportunity to be as good as Madison. I think Madison is that special talent that you don't get, or you can't manufacture someone like James Madison. I think that he's obviously working and has worked hard for it, of course, but there is still 10, 15 to 20% of that player is just raw talent. His kick taking, for example, is just absolutely exceptional. I'm not saying Buendia's isn't, but I think that there is that. But then again, Emi is just ridiculous. Emi Buendia next year. Would you liken him to Lanzini from West Ham?
Same nationality.
Same nationality.
Is that the only comparison?
No. I think small, nimble, tricky, quick players. I think he'd be a great one to watch next season. I think that he'll have probably, I predict, he will have a similar impact on the Premier League next season that Ruben Neves has had for Wolves. 100%. He will score some belters next season, and the world of football will be talking about Emi Buendia.
That's a massive call.
They will, I tell you
Massive call.
It's not like you to make massive calls on here.
Well, I've seemed to have got them right so far. James Madison better than Jack Wilshere.
But is Declan Rice the best midfielder the world's ever seen? Probably.
Talk to me about that. I thought he was a defender.
Yeah, he's like CDM, isn't he?
Oh, has he moved up the pitch now?
Yeah, he's played in the midfield this season.
When do we get to talk about West Ham Norwich links? Like
Later on, I think.
Dean Ashton and Snoddy and come on.
What? Yeah, Snoddy?
Yeah.
Player, right?
Yeah, I like him. He puts.
I told you.
Yeah, he puts his heart into every single minute he's on that pitch.
When you signed him though,
Yeah.
he wasn't really that favoured, was he?
Wasn't played, was he?
No, he wasn't played under Bilic. It was Bilic, wasn't it?
Yes.
I could have got that wrong. Bilic or Moyes.
I think it was originally Bilic, yeah.
Right, yeah, probably the sort of end of that sort of tenure. But yeah, no, he didn't get in a team, and then again, because football fans are fickle, West Ham fans just didn't rate him. But
Right.
it was just because we didn't see enough of him.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like he's not as naturally gifted as some of the players that we've mentioned there, but he does put everything into any minute he's on that pitch. And it's whether he's one of the best players in the team or one of the worst players in the team, it's impossible not to love him.
I feel like Robert Snodgrass stinks of West Ham a proper hearty British bulldog, you know. Obviously, he's very Scottish.
I hope you're not
but-
making generalisations here.
What was wrong with that? I'm complimenting.
A proper British bulldog. Obviously, he's Scottish.
Well, Scotland's in Britain.
Oh, true,
isn't it?
true.
So
Yeah,
that's,
true. But the bulldog is more of a yeah.
Okay. What else could I say then? What's an animal
No,
affiliated with Scotland?
Loch Ness Monster?
Yes,
Yeah.
one of them. When I had Jack on for another video with work the other month, I told Jack the story about when Snoddy swore at the snake pit, and he was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Because he actually did that, didn't he? He has
Yeah.
got that much spice and fire, and he's hilarious.
Why, was he
he's
getting-
such a funny guy.
Was he getting
honestly.
stick then?
Yes, a
Right.
lot of stick.
And then
So
did
rather than taking it, he just fronted up.
Really?
I like that though.
Yeah.
I think that's a thing in football is we see these footballers and are like, we can give them as much abuse as they want.
Yeah.
And they just won't take it on board.
But after that, the snake pit adored him.
Yeah.
Did
They
they?
needed that little bit of
Yeah.
spice conversion.
Yeah.
Spice conversion.
They loved it.
Back to you, Jack. I completely understand we're going all over with these tangents here. You're meant to be on holiday right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Why were you going out there?
Holiday /
Business.
kind of.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to go over.
Oh yeah, I've just remembered this.
What
with,
about-
with your ticket.
Yeah, it sort of fell apart, but for other reasons. But I was going to go over and make a documentary about a YouTuber,
Right.
about a YouTuber that does naughty things.
Okay.
Goodness me.
Yeah, because a few things blew up about a month ago. Was almost kind of getting sued. Kind of. So I had to basically go and see a solicitor and see what are my options here.
Yeah.
And turns out I've got plenty of legs to stand on, so I'm not too worried now. So there's a few people in America that can help me tell a story of a certain creator out there. So I was going to go over and film a documentary.
So is that something that interests you then? Because that seems like a fairly big step up from recording in your shed
Yeah.
to going out to LA and filming documentaries.
Yeah, I guess so. But to give myself a little bit of credit, because I do often sort of play down what I do and say that I'm just sort of
You're
moaning about things.
self-deprecating, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you have to be, like, especially if you're British. Like, that is the number one trait you should have.
British bulldog.
If you're in the comedy world. But to give myself a bit of credit, and what I don't think a lot of people know is when I do a response to a YouTube video. For example, I recently did one about Alfie Deyes. Alfie Deyes did a podcast, and I responded to it. People think that I'm just turning my camera on and giving my opinions. They are my opinions. I do stand by them 100%. But I've analysed every word I'm going to say in that video. Like, I have watched his response. I think his video he did with Alex and Fraser was an hour and a half long,
Yeah.
I think. I think I watched it all the way through 3 times. I'm pausing it. I'm writing my points. I'm making sure every word I get out is what I believe. Because if you say that's like we're saying with the footballers and the media, if you get one thing wrong, people are going to jump on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's why I often say things that people have called me like a hypocrite for, because I've moaned about things that I have done in the past. I think that's just human nature.
Yeah.
So to answer your question in a roundabout kind of way, I don't think documentaries would be too different,
Right.
because I do analyse everything I say at the moment anyway. So it'd just be like getting other people's opinions and putting them in a similar format, I think.
And what do you see yourself as now? Are you a comedian? Are you a YouTuber? Are you an influencer?
I hate the
Are
term.
you in a transition? Like Norwich City have been in a transition this season.
Keep tying it in, that's nice.
Yeah, I will.
I hate the phrase influencer.
But you are.
Uh,
You influencers.
But I don't believe that's for the creator to say. I'm an influencer. Well, no, I'll tell you if you're influencing me.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like
fair.
that. I don't know why
Yeah,
that's
it's a bit arrogant.
But people, I understand your point, but people will watch your stuff or read your stuff and be influenced from your opinion. You've now got to a stage where your opinion holds massive weight.
Okay, I agree, but then I always see the term influencer from a brand deal perspective. That's what I imagined
Right.
it to be. I'm going to influence you to buy this. I'm
see.
going to influence you to buy that. I get I've always said to my audience, though, don't just agree with me for the sake of it, just because you like my videos, because I could be talking shit. Like, literally, you either agree or you don't agree. Make up your own opinions, form them, you're adults, and even if you're not, you're old enough to watch the content, make up your own opinions. That's the worst thing I think YouTubers kind of like inadvertently sort of like push is that their opinion is the right one. No, it's not. Like I've probably said lots of stuff that is wrong, but it's my channel, it's my platform. I'm going to say what I want.
And if they don't like it, then quite frankly, unsub, unfollow, mute,
or stay sub, but tell me you don't like it, because I'm happy to hear your response. I was going to say negative response. It's not even necessarily a negative response. If you disagree with what I've got to say, fine.
Yeah, and people don't realise that actually helps in terms of engagement and exposure.
Exactly. I learned once upon a time that the worst thing a video can do is to not make you feel. So if I put a video out and you watch it and you go, then I've failed. I'd rather piss you off or make you love it.
Like at the moment, we're pissing off Norwich fans that we're not talking about Norwich City being promoted to the Premier League.
It doesn't matter at all. Right, let's get on to some Twitter questions and we'll drop back in.
Yeah.
Right,
Definitely
Owen.
Pick a Norwich one, isn't it?
No, Owen, this is a good one actually. Now, your podcast has been great so far.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Cheers.
I think I've given it a review on iTunes as well. Actually,
Oh, nice one.
I think it was only a 3-star. He said, "Best guest on your podcast, except for Ricky Gervais."
Ricky was so good. I
It
loved
was
that one.
what maybe one that surprised you the most, where you've got them in and thought, this is a bit of a filler episode, and be like, wow,
Yeah.
that's delivered.
Tubes from Soccer
Right.
AM
Love Tubes, top boy.
was brilliant. Hands down, top 3 we've done.
Really?
Definitely, yeah. He was so open. He's the loveliest man you'll ever meet, and he spoke to us about having his heart attack, and he spoke to us about his problems, his addiction with alcohol and stuff.
Wow.
And it was quite touching. It was so touching to see. And I've had, after that's been out, I've had so many messages from people saying, "Oh, my mum's an alcoholic, my dad's an alcoholic, tell Tubes what this meant to me," and stuff like that. And I just say, well, he's got his own fucking socials, you tell him. No, I don't. I don't say it. But yeah, I mean, I think that episode has helped a lot of people. And when you get...
How good does that feel? Because we had that with the Simon Thomas one where we were talking about grief and
that was
the sheer impact that had on people. It made me feel incredible. So for you as well, it'd be the same thing.
It's
wouldn't
class. I mean, it's nothing to do with me. It's all to do with Pete, with Tubes. Like, fair play to him, because when you go through something like that, that is something that you probably... when you live your life online, you have that decision. Do I keep this an online thing, an offline thing, or do I put it online? And I didn't know if he would come on and speak about his problems with the booze. I did ask him before, and he said it's fine, but I didn't know to what extent he would go in. And he's just so honest and so funny. So he's one that's certainly up there.
And how do you approach something like that? Because to get a really emotive subject out of someone, I think we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, Chris, years of trust has probably gone into that. What's your kind of, I guess, for people out there watching and being like, I want to get into this game, in terms of them long form interviews?
Yeah.
How do you approach them and build that trust over?
Well, I didn't actually have a particularly special bond with him. Like,
Right.
I didn't. I kind of just knew him for a friend. But I think what's important is to spend a bit of time with the guests before they go on. Especially, as you can imagine, from my point of view, I've had a lot of guests on that I don't see eye to eye with. So a lot of YouTubers feel like they might be coming into, like, it's a bit cringy, but the lion's den, they feel like I'm going to crucify them. That's not why I want them on there. Like, I want them on there to hear a story and to ultimately...
Do people think about that?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, like, there's YouTubers that won't touch me with a barge pole. Like, they won't come on. They will not.
I think one of the ones that I really enjoyed that you did, I'd encourage our audience to go and watch to get a feel of Jack's content, is the one, I'm going to call him the rich guy.
That was going to be the next one I brought up. Yeah.
That was really well done. The insight, how you kind of poked the bear in the right way, and that was really, really quite cool.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah, I'm chuffed for that, because that's what I think, from a podcast host perspective, that's probably been my best performance.
What is it called, so everyone can watch it?
I can't remember what the episode's called, but his name's Bobby Misner. So I put it on my main channel, actually, because it was when I was sort of doing
transitioning.
Yeah.
Stuart Webber transitioning.
But yeah, it was basically, I made a video about a billionaire's son, a main channel video in which I ripped him to shreds, this guy. And rightfully so, some would say. And then I basically contacted him, said, come on my podcast. He happened to be in London at the time, so we got it done. And I didn't want him to think, I called him all the names under the sun in a jokey way, but I didn't want him to think that he was then coming on into my realm, and I'm going to go, here's more. That's not what that's about. I've already poked fun at the lad, like without his permission, obviously, and ridiculed him in front of millions, or a million.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make it very clear. Look, Bobby, I've done this video about you, and to be fair, he was great crack because
he was good.
I think maybe I've made it sound like I've really crucified the lad. I haven't. I was just joking about the video that he put up. It's quite pretentious. So I wanted to make it clear when he comes onto the podcast, I'm just going to question you on some of the things you've said. I'm not going to call your names to your face and stuff like that. And I only did sort of get a little bit heated when he said things that were totally absurd. Do you know what I mean? Like when he was saying that.
That's what Jack does to me every week.
Yeah, fair play. That's why I like him. But like there was a bit where he said, for example, that boarding school or private school is worse than a jail cell.
Right.
So that was a bit like, okay, okay, can of worms.
In terms of flipping that around, we all know the beef that you've had. To call it beef.
Yeah.
With an Alfie Deyes, with a Zoe Sugg.
Yeah.
Do you speak to them first of all?
No.
You don't.
So
give us the scoop. Give us the truth behind that. Come on.
I think my interactions with Zoe could be zero. I don't think she's ever
Never reached out to you?
Never. I think Alfie and I have had maybe some, because I think it could be no interactions with either of them, but I'm certain if I say that, someone's going to go, well, what about this tweet in 2013? So I'm sure there's something.
I mean, off public. They've never called or
nothing, mate. No, nothing. They a lot. One of I think if I did a video where I sat down with Alfie, that would be a 1 million view video in 48 hours. I'm certain of it. That's all the internet wants. Like, well, it's not, but it's all my.
Are you calling him out right now?
I've done that plenty of times, but that can be your title if you want. But yeah, no, I don't think he would ever want to do a video with me, because if he did. The video he did with Alex and Fraser would have been the perfect video. I should have been sat there.
My question was going to go there, Jack. Sorry to interrupt, Chris.
You're right.
In terms of guests being scared to go into your kind of spectrum and be questioned, are you ever scared that an Alfie Deyes might show you up? Or do you back yourself enough to be like...
Especially within the context of what we would be discussing, I back myself to the hills all day long.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a reason why he wouldn't want to do it with me. Because people think... I moan about a lot on my channel which can take weight off of all the individual subjects because I moan all the time. But what they don't realise is the one thing that Alfie and I sort of see from very different angles is the whole merch thing, is the whole books, the book deals. I know my shit when it comes to that, and whether or not I'm right or wrong, because it's an opinion piece. Like I'm not saying I'm right. I feel so strongly about it that he's going to have to come with some very strong sort of justification to why he's done certain things, because you can tell me all day long that you wanted to become an author and that's why you released this book and that was a passion of yours. But when the book's got nothing in it, when it's a fill your own book, how do you want to be an author? You're still not one, Alfie. Regardless of how many you sold, you're still not.
What happens if this video does ever happen? Alfie rocks up and you might be right on the opinions about books, but he rocks up and he's actually just quite a nice guy.
That's clearly something I've heard a lot, and I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is a nice guy. But what I want to stress is that I'm not saying he's a bad person, but I'm saying that some of these things are bad things to do, are shitty things to do. So I mean, if a lot of people come to me with the argument, why do you call these people out? They're nice guys. They're nice people. Well, if that's true, then I can't call anyone out for anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure Hitler was funny at parties or something. But just because someone has some good personality traits, don't mean you can't call them out for their bad moves. Do you know what I mean? Hitler was still a bastard. Like, I'm not saying that, but he had nice hair.
Much like Chris Hughton was a nice guy, but a pretty shit football manager.
Exactly. But should you not be allowed to say that he was a bad manager because he could be great company?
Since you've seen, and we know you know the game very well, probably better than any.
Right.
Since these Zoe Sugg videos, etc., have popped, and they have.
Yeah.
Do you play up to it a bit more now? Because I can remember you saying on one of the podcasts, when the first videos I really got to know your stuff was the 25 things we all hated. I know you've said about that stuff before and been like, I was finding stuff to moan about on purpose.
For sure.
Have you almost gone full circle and are back in that point now? Or do you feel like you're slightly more selective on what you talk about?
I'm definitely more selective. I'll only moan about things that I genuinely think I know enough about, because otherwise it is just moaning for the sake of moaning.
Norwich fans do that.
All football fans do that. All football fans, mate. Fickle bunch we are. But yeah, so yeah, no, with there's been things that Alfie's done on online and stuff that I haven't made videos about, because I also don't want to seem like I'm bullying that specific person.
Right.
Like the only sort of discussions I've had, weirdly not with him, but like through other people, is always about the same stuff, just coming back round in a circle. I'm not finding new stuff.
Yeah.
Like he posted a selfie once when he was sat on a memorial thing for something, and someone was like,
I hate that.
Someone was like, why have you not made a video about that? Well, one, I think he didn't realise what he was doing.
Just a lack of education.
Yeah. So I'm not just one of these guys that is going to jump on everything. Like, and then for example, James Charles is a YouTuber that is now selling $500 VIP meet and greet tickets. I could do a video about it. It would get me a lot of views. It would pay my rent for the next few months. But the reason why I haven't done it yet, not to say I won't, but the reason why I feel like I won't, is because I'm not going to come out with my opinion and people are going to go, oh, that's what Jack thinks of that then. Do you know what I mean? They know where I stand on these things. So the only time I will go over the same topics is if someone's responded to me and I feel like I've got the right to reply. Because that's another thing as well. If there's any YouTubers watching this, I always say it. If I've called you out in a video, you have a right to reply. Do it. Call me out for things if you want. Like, but
I suppose in that case then, do you think the reason people aren't responding is because they know you're right?
possibly. That's why in the video with Alfie and Alex, Alfie talks about how much money he's made from a book. I won't repeat it here, but you can go and watch it if you want. He mentions a certain sum, but that was in advance.
Right.
So it's why are you mentioning that?
Yeah.
Like he talks about it as if that's his profit.
Well, he said, didn't he say something like $4,000 or something?
Yeah,
which is
$4,000.
nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he's very aware that if he says that, a lot of young impressionable kids are going to go, oh, he's and another thing, oh, he's only made $4,000.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to a lot of people. But it was an advance, and he made a lot more than that. I would assume, allegedly.
Right, next question from Jack. This isn't me or you. I think this is youth speak. Proper mad, big moves. That's in relation to getting you on.
Oh, okay.
So apparently the kids think
big moves for me as well.
Big moves. Question for Jack with the 2 A's, very on brand. Who does he think our best player has been this season, minus Pookie and Aaron's?
Ooh, is he going to know?
I probably haven't watched enough to say. I mean, I've been to one game this season.
You've got to say someone, for the love of God. You're on the TNZ podcast.
I've watched the last couple of games Norwich have played, and obviously whacking in that last minute free kick, Vranic. Is it how you say it? Vranic?
We'll take Vranic.
Yeah. I'm a fan of him.
Yeah.
He's quite a dishy fella as well, so I'm into that.
No, what does dishy mean?
Like attractive.
Oh right, I see. No, he is very attractive. Sorry, I didn't know if that was a certain other meaning. I won't go into that. Chris, what you can answer that question as well. I'll let you.
Sorry,
best
I'm
player
lost.
minus Pookie and Aaron's.
What all season?
All season, yeah.
What about Stiepermann as well?
Stiepermann.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had the funny feeling
wasn't he a
like
left
him.
back?
well, this is the thing. We don't quite know what he is.
Wasn't he a left
He
back?
came in and said he was born to score goals, played left back, then moved to central midfield. Is he a number 10 now? He reminds me, I reckon he's like you on a football pitch.
You'll get to find out after this.
Well, I will. But what I mean is, and please don't be offended by this,
Okay.
quite
Lanky.
long and gangly.
Lanky, yeah, you can say it, Joe.
But can turn up
He's going
on
to
the
call you out on
occasion.
the video now for that.
But I look at you and think, I'm not quite sure what you do, but I imagine you do
look
it very
like
well.
you can't play football.
That you have hit the nail on the head.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what you do?
I can turn well for a tall player. Like I'm quite handy on the ball. Like I'm not going to.
I can turn.
I'm not going to claim to be a great player because I'm not, and I tend to go missing in a lot of Sunday League games. But for a tall, lanky fella, I'm all right on the ball. I can turn.
A good touch for a big lad.
Yeah. No, we'll go with that. Yeah. So
Zimmerman.
Zimmerman.
If it's not Pookie or Max Aarons.
What's impressed you about Zimmerman?
His leadership, the fact that he has just come from absolutely nowhere. The fact that it's the story, it's the pain, it's the hardship, it's the I'm going to give up football to I'm getting complimented by Arsene Wenger.
Was he going to give up football? Was he?
Yeah. He went to university, and all of the Norwich players say how intelligent he is, how he's the most intelligent player in the squad. And I think for me, it's like he delivers everything that a captain should deliver. And I'm proud that he plays for Norwich, and that's why I love Christoph Zimmerman.
Brilliant. Back to the big questions. Owen Huggins. Ben
It's
Ambrose.
not really a big question.
Curry sauce or gravy with your chips? No, hang on. Let's really delve into the deep questions here. I know you're a Norwich boy, Jack.
Yeah.
Yarmouth or Norwich Market chips?
Oh God. I'm going to go Norwich Market. Unfortunately.
Why? Why? I mean, put some facts in your opinion.
I've had them more. I mean, yeah.
That's not a good enough reason.
Yarmouth. When you say Norwich and Norwich v Yarmouth, are you talking about Yarmouth specifically, the market chips?
No,
or are you talking about the?
Let's change the question. Norwich or Yarmouth?
No, I don't care about that. I care about the chips here. No,
Yeah, of course
market
you do.
chips.
I don't actually think I've had chips from the Yarmouth market. I've had it from the long strip.
Seafood on the Yarmouth market, solid performer.
Right.
Is it?
Simply by default that it's
Do you want
close
me
to
to
the
take you
sea.
for chips down Yarmouth
Please
Market?
do, yeah, and we'll review it for the socials.
that'd be
Always
lovely.
savvy.
In which case, curry sauce or gravy?
Gravy, 100%.
Oh, really? Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. You look like you love gravy with your chips. You really
Well, because I
do.
put on a bit of weight.
No,
right?
it's the shirt and t-shirt combo. I have gravy with my chips and go to the waterfront at the weekend. It's all about the curry sauce.
I don't even know how that's mugging me off, but I know it
Mushy
is.
peas?
Yeah, I love mushy
Do
peas.
ya?
On their own. Like the mushy pea stand.
You've got to have them with chips, mate.
Would you like a fact here? It's a
Yeah.
good stat. The country has 5 mushy pea stalls.
I think we literally might be losing all of our subscribers right
country
now.
has 5 mushy pea market stalls. Norfolk holds 2 of them.
Really?
So we've got a
Wow.
monopoly on mushy peas.
No, I love that.
And I'm not going to get too
I
deep
really
into
like
it,
that
but
from you.
Brexit could really screw our mushy pea production.
But where are the other
Move
3?
on.
There's one in Mansfield. I don't know about the others.
How do you know this fact?
Definitely
I
not
spend
Hull.
too much time up Yarmouth Market. Yeah, great place.
Harry Ramsden's overrated.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
agree.
Yeah.
I think it's because we're so gifted with fish and chips in Norfolk.
Yeah.
Are you glad you came on this podcast?
Yeah, I'm loving it. No, I've just recently done, not to self-promo, but I've just done an episode of
Meal
my
deals.
podcast all about food. I could speak about food all day long. What's your meal deal choice? Quickly, we can go through it. Like, what sandwich you getting?
So I'm going to Boots.
Oh, that's weak already.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen the selection from Boots?
Yeah.
You can top up a £9 meal deal there and spend $3.99.
Yeah,
You
you
boys
can.
are lame.
You can.
Why are you even getting a meal deal?
What are you
I'm
getting?
sorry to sound like a snob, but
Protein shake.
it's all about the protein
Sushi.
shake and sushi.
Where are you going then for your meal deal?
I'm just a Tesco,
of course you're-
standard
yeah.
Tesco. What do you mean, of course I
And you're getting a triple sandwich, aren't you, as well?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
no, 'cause
wow.
I don't
okay.
like the idea of someone else walking around eating the other half.
I see where you've gone with this because you're having to slice
Do you know what I mean? Because someone else is eating that half. I don't feel right about that. I don't like it when my girlfriend eats half of my sandwich. I don't want some randomer doing it.
I've never thought of that before.
No.
Someone else's.
And it will haunt you for the rest of your days now, Jack.
What? Are you getting crisps?
Yeah, salt and vinegar McCoys all day long.
And then you're washing it down with, I'm going for an orange juice.
Oh, yeah.
For you.
Nah.
No. You're a fizzy drink kind of guy. aren't you?
Nah.
You pop a can of Monster every day,
dr-
don't you? Get you through the working day.
I just get gravy. No, I go for the innocent smoothie.
Do you? I
Yeah.
wasn't
Good boy.
expecting
Yeah.
Lots of sugar, but good boy.
Yeah.
That seems exceptionally classy of you.
Way more classy than this.
Please,
Tomato.
please, can we talk about Norwich?
No, we'll get back onto Norwich now. All right, final question from Theo. Let's end it on some kind of narrative here. If you could have one player from respective squads, so one from Norwich in the West Ham squad and one from West Ham in the Norwich squad, who would they be And why?
Okay.
Being quite demanding here.
I'm gonna go boring. I'm gonna have to play safe. I'm gonna have to play with the players that I know. I can't go for a Zimmerman or someone like that because I genuinely don't know enough. But obviously I watch the highlight show and stuff. So I'm gonna go for Pookie. Right. And the reason is I think Arnautovic needs to do one now because he's kind of one of these players where once his head's gone, it's gone. And I mean, it's been in Beijing for the last 3 months, so he can go, and then we just need to replace him with another striker. So we'll go.
Has his market value dropped now, do you think?
Oh, massively, because Stoke fans, when he signed for West Ham, like careful, because when he doesn't want to, when he throws a tantrum, and that's it. And then he was incredible for us, and I think he was Hammer of the Year last season. And so we thought, oh, you're chatting rubbish, and now. He's done exactly what Stoke fans say.
Played very well against Tottenham, though.
He did play well against Tottenham, I'll give him that. But I mean, he's one of these people that will...
Big games.
He probably saw it as a shop window as well.
Interesting.
So,
I can remember listening to a phone-in on it, I think it was 5 Live, when them rumours were surfacing that, was it some Shanghai team or something?
Yeah.
A big Chinese deal.
Yeah.
And all the West Ham fans were like, we can't let him go, we can't let him go.
Yeah.
But we saw the same with Nelson Oliveira when Swansea bid 12 million. And we were like, we can't let him go, we can't let him go. And then the head's gone, they don't turn up, their value drops by 50%.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, Chris, when we do, then bids do come in, if the heads are turned, let them go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
And actually, even just away from the money factor, Jack, I mean, you talk, if we just thread it in nicely to that buzzword for the season, the culture again, if the Norwich players simply don't fit into the culture, I think Stuart Webber's gone on record post-match, post-Blackburn, saying, simply, we might sign a couple of players, but at the end of the day, if they're not as talented, but they fit into our culture and our system, in you come. But if you're super talented and you don't fit in, I'm sorry, Sonny Jim, but you're out. And I feel that, I think that Premier League clubs, particularly mid-table Premier League clubs, with respect, West Ham, fall into that trap a lot. I think that it would be so much better if they had a Declan Rice that, yes, he's a very talented guy, but he's clearly working his nuts off every game. He's clearly very grounded. He loves West Ham, and we a lot of the Norwich, well, all of the Norwich players. Crystal Silverman went on record. It's on the TNC socials in the Gun Club after the game in Blackburn, said every single player at Norwich City loves the football club. Now, not only do I think that's special, I think it's extremely rare. I think that most Premier League football clubs now, they will have players at them where they don't care, they're in it for the money. Going back to our Wes and Russ podcast, when Russ was saying, one of the biggest problems that we had previously going up was, for example, rate him or not rate him, Mbok couldn't speak a word of English, didn't fit in with the group, banged in a couple of crackers, but apart from that, didn't really work out. And Norwich was seen as a stepping stone, and now Norwich City, I think every player there is so grateful. Christoph Zimmerman is almost breaking down. You see the scenes on the pitch at the end. Marco Stiepman, Jamal Lewis, Max Aarons all crying, and when you care that much, I just think it's unbelievably special.
So do you think that means that they'll stay at the club
going
into the Premier League?
We won't lose or have to sell 99% of our squad. I think that we'll obviously let a few go that were on the high wages previously, bought in by the old regime. Might potentially see Tim Close go, but apart from that, I don't know why we would sell. I was extremely worried that someone like West Ham would come in for Max Aarons, Jamal Lewis, but now they're not going anywhere.
Do you not think?
No way. January.
When we're bottom.
Maybe.
It'd be interesting to get your view on this, Jack, to kind of finish things up. From a neutral's point of view, how do you think Norwich are going to fare in the Premier League? Because I must admit, I haven't really watched Premier League football since we've been down. So it's been a good 3 seasons.
Yeah, I think they'll stay up 100%. I've actually had a bet with my mate Bates, who I mentioned earlier. I've given him 9 to 1 odds, right?
So you're now a bookies.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, he's bet me £100. If I lose, I have to give him £1,000 back, essentially. He thinks Norwich.
YouTube money's gone to
No. This
He's
is
driving a Yaris. It's definitely not.
No, this is how safe I am and how safe my money is. He thinks Norwich will finish top half, so that's why I'm going. Gives £100.
So you've bet against that?
Much. Yeah, I think Norwich will do well. I think they'll do better than Sheffield United. There's at least 3 current Premier League teams that are worse than Norwich. Norwich won't go down, but top 10? No way. You've got the top 6, and then you've got all the floaters, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got.
Are we now a floater? Is that all we
no,
are?
No, you're not even a floater.
Oh, right.
No,
I'm quite happy with being a floater in the Premier League. It's better than League One.
I'm talking top 6. Then you've got your Evertons, your Watfords, your West Hams. Dare I say? Like you got they're your floaters. They're your ones that are going to float in the 7, 8, 9, 10. And Norwich, I reckon they'll finish 13th.
So if Everton are a floater, what kind of excrement, if that's the right word, is Ipswich in League One? Is that kind of puke, diarrhea?
They've already been flushed.
Sinker?
And on that fine piece of analysis, we'll end things. Jack, thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure, mate. Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. I'm not sure what everyone made of that, but I'm sure it's good. And welcome to all the new fangirls as well. Thanks very much for watching.
Premier League.
Yeah, it's good. Premier League guests.
Premier League.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Cheers.